Hello and welcome to the mobilegamer.biz digest. I'm Neil Long and every week I go for a walk and tell you what's happening in the mobile games industry. Here we go. A report from Calcalis Tech on Monday suggests that Tencent could be acquiring Playtika-owned SuperPlay for up to $1.5 billion. This is quite an odd one in that, according to this report, Playtika is looking to divest SuperPlay because it's been too successful. Playtika acquired SuperPlay for an initial $700 million in 2024. Since then, it has launched Disney Solitaire and also has Dice Dreams and Domino Dreams in its portfolio. The deal included a $1.25 billion payout if the team met performance targets between 2025 and 2027. And this report suggests that it has been so successful that Playtika is struggling to meet the conditions of those earnouts, and it would rather divest SuperPlay to Tencent, which owns, obviously, lots and lots and lots of mobile game and PC and console developers and publishers. So, yeah, I mean, I think there's maybe two things going on here, in that Playtika maybe doesn't have the cash on hand to pay SuperPlay and acquired the company, not quite realizing how successful Disney Solitaire, Dice Dreams, Domino Dreams would be in the future. But also SuperPlay just absolutely smashing it in what is quite a tough market. I think SuperPlay, once acquired by Playtika, almost immediately became one of its top earning divisions. Obviously, Playtika owns Super Treat and Wooga and a couple of other developers. But yeah, fair play to former Playtika employees Gilad Almog and Eyal Netzer, plus Elad Drury, who set up SuperPlay, having been acquired once by Playtika, now potentially bought by Tencent. So whatever they're doing, it is clearly working. There were more Google Play shenanigans at the end of last week. So, seemingly, Google's agreed to drop part of the ongoing court dispute with Epic Games, meaning the Play Store will be open to distribute third-party app stores, including, of course, the Epic Games Store, this week at the time of recording. So as of apparently today, Wednesday, 22nd of July, third parties will be able to run their app stores out of the Play Store. They will be discoverable, downloadable, and fully operational through the Play Store. So that opens up the way for, of course, Epic with its store, but also the likes of Samsung's Galaxy Store, indie stores like Alt Store and Skitch, and potentially an Xbox App Store. There's a fair bit of legal, what I'm going to call mumbo jumbo here, but in short, Google had previously agreed to a 2024 ruling by a US judge that meant it would be launching a registered app stores program to ensure it could basically control a little bit of what happens in terms of third-party app stores on the Play Store. They've now dropped that part of the settlement as part of its ongoing cooperation with Epic. A spokesman told The Verge, I'm paraphrasing, but they said this allows us to concentrate on the new App Store fees and business model around Play Store fees as related to in-app purchases. And naturally, of course, Epic Games boss Tim Sweeney had his say on X. Third-party stores are coming to Google Play Store, he said. Epic Games Store already hosts third-party stores, including Itch and GOG Galaxy. And here's the swipe at Apple. When will the other guys finally open up and stop blocking and taxing competition? And there's links back to further explanation of the new Google Play rules with the help of Google Play Games GM Arash Mabod, which we published last week. Those new changes have rolled out in the UK, US and EU now, and they are to come in other markets soon. So yes, read the story for more detail, but essentially it will be easier to run a third-party app store through the Play Store from now onwards. Monopoly Go continues to do the business for Hasbro. It has earned the toy company $44 million in the last quarter. That is up slightly on the $41 million Hasbro earned from Monopoly Go in the previous quarter. That rounded up is about $86 million year to date. So easy money for Hasbro. Possibly the best licensing deal ever. Hasbro's Q2 earnings saw digital and licensed gaming revenue overall grow year on year 17%, $135.5 million. Tabletop gaming, 30% growth. There, Hasbro didn't mention any other mobile game by name or really any other PC games or console games. But it did sort of reconfirm that Scopely expects Monopoly Go to exceed $8 billion in lifetime revenue this summer, said Hasbro CEO Chris Cox. And the toy firm will continue to work with lots of different partners with its brands. Some of these were name-checked here: Scopely, Aristocrat, Triple Dot, Marmalade, Gamebury Labs, Ubisoft and Gameloft, all working on licensed titles with Hasbro. So more to come from them.
Xsolla connects developers with the resources they need to build, fund, launch, and monetize their mobile games globally. With Xsolla Webshop, sell virtual items, in-game currency, subscriptions, and custom offers directly to players, while driving up to 5 times the revenue growth. With the industry's #1 webshop solution, Xsolla provides the tools for developers to focus on what's most important: creating great games. Visit Xsolla.com to learn more. That's XSOLLA.com.
MTG's latest financials really show Raid Shadow Legends dominating in terms of revenue, but its casual division PlaySimple and its rising direct-to-consumer revenue were also worth shouting out. Q2 revenue for Raid up 9% year on year, $111 million in the last quarter. Warhammer 40k Tacticus revenue is up 5% year on year, 17 million revenue in the last quarter. Forge of Empires continues to shrink, 22% decline in revenue year on year, $19 million earned in the last quarter. Overall group revenue, $306 million in the last quarter. Profits as measured by adjusted EBITDA, $73 million, 24% profit margin. PlaySimple is in the process of being listed on the stock exchange in India, where its games are most popular. And 38% of group revenue across MTG comes through direct-to-consumer channels, up from 24% a year ago. More stats and figures on MTG in the article. Mighty Doom developer Alpha Dog is back as an independent studio after being closed down in 2024. This studio was part of ZeniMax, Bethesda's parent company, which was acquired by Microsoft in the $7.5 billion acquisition of ZeniMax in 2019. But in one of many rounds of cuts at Microsoft, Alpha Dog was closed down in 2024. Around the same time, Arcane Austin was closed and Tango Gameworks was sold. Mighty Doom was therefore pulled from the app stores. But Alpha Dog Games has returned. Studio founder Sean Woods updated his LinkedIn profile, claiming that as of May, Alpha Dog Games is independently owned. Kotaku followed up to get a statement from Sean Woods. He says, "It's true that Alpha Dog Games is once again independently owned by its founders. We're grateful to Microsoft for working with us through the transition and enabling Alpha Dog Games to return to independent ownership. And they are looking for opportunities from partners, publishers, and licensors." So, makers of Mighty Doom, Alpha Dog back in business. Buried in the announcements about Elder Scrolls games, other Fallout games, was the news that Fallout Shelter is getting an unscripted TV show. Unscripted suggests it's a reality TV show type format, and we have assumed in this story that maybe it'll be a kind of survival Fallout Shelter show where people have to actually live in a fallout shelter, and hilarity ensues. Bethesda also said Fallout Shelter is the most popular way to experience Fallout on the go, and it has clocked up more than 250 million players worldwide. Magic suggests about $140 million in revenue since launch in 2015. Most of that money is coming through US players. But yeah, Fallout Shelter TV show in the works. Unity 7 is coming early 2027 with a beta in December. Unity announced the news at Unite Seoul and said that the new edition of Unity is built on how developers, artists, producers, and coding agents increasingly work together across the full development cycle. They promised no rebuilding, no new language to learn, nothing broken in transition, new graphics bits and bobs, but also, most importantly for mobile devs, smarter growth and monetization systems with native direct-to-consumer in-app purchases, no-code web shops, and unified catalogs which feed data back into Vector, the AI engine behind Unity ads. So, Unity 7 coming in early 2027, Q1 for that one. This story's been really popular on the site. Former Kabam devs Dropfake revealed new DC Universe fighting game DC KO. This looks like Marvel Contest of Champions, but in the DC universe. It's coming next year on iOS and Android, and the part that developer Dropfake was keen to point out in the press release was that it's 2v2 tag team game, PvE and real-time PvP modes. It wants the game to be both approachable and have a high skill ceiling, and they want to bring back some old school arcade vibes. So DCKO coming next year. Another popular story from last week, the closure of Scopely's Looney Tunes World of Mayhem. That is closing in October. As spotted by gamesindustry.biz, a post on the game's official site says the game's being removed from app stores on August 23rd. The game will go offline permanently on October 15th. Magic estimates suggest the game has generated over $106 million in lifetime in-app purchase earnings. 62% of that revenue is players in the US. Downloads 41 million, 19% of the installs from US. Followed by Brazil 10%, Mexico 8%, and Russia 6%. It's been earning about $350,000 per month since January 2026, according to Magic. So Scopely obviously decided to call it a day on this one. Looney Tunes World of Mayhem closing in October. In Data Digest this week, 3 lead items, all on learnings / Okeva Games. The Chinese maker of Amaze Go, Miao Doku, and Vita Mahjong. So first item is this Magic report about the company's sudden rise. Vita Mahjong, 237 million lifetime downloads. Amaze Go, 68 million. Miao Doku, 10 million already and counting. That's the game's only just come out. 40 million downloads in a single month from just 3 games. It also spotlights Mystery Town, a merge puzzler, which almost overtook Merge Mansion in the last month in terms of in-app purchase revenue. So learnings / Okeva Games really going for merge puzzle as well as the more casual end of the market. Miyadoku was also June's fastest growing game, 8.9 million downloads according to Sensor Tower, way ahead of Pokemon Champions, which was released around the same time, 5.1 million downloads for that one. Learnings also dominated June's ad creative charts, which Social Peta put out every month or so. They are really spending a lot on user acquisition. Tile Explorer and ZenWord lead iOS and Android respectively, but on both iOS and Android, Tile Explorer, Vita Mahjong, Amaze Go, Miyadoku, ZenWord, Jigsawscapes, and Jigsaw Card all knocking around the top 20 in terms of number of ad creatives out on the market. Elsewhere, in non-learnings related matters. Honor of Kings helped Tencent Games to earn $5 billion in the first half of 2026, according to more Sensor Tower data. Disney Emoji Blitz, 54 million installs for that one. There's a report on gaming investments looking up, according to Drakestar, and Netflix Playground. Engagement up 600% on that one, although, as we note, that may well have come from quite a low base. So, yeah, pinch of salt with that one. In soft launching new games, we've got Tencent bringing back the Gangstar games in time for GTA 6, Scopely's next WWE game, further incoming titles from Century, Zynga, Rovio, Miniclip, and more. And in new games, there's Ratchet & Clank, Madden, College Football, Digimon, Wordplay, Anemo, and new titles from ByteDance, Century Games, Boombit, and Easy Brain. Have a look at the soft launch article from Monday and the new game digest from last Friday for more details on that. And that's it for this week. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.